Hello, Taurus. Welcome to your weekly reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. If you're watching this reading was meant to find you. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Taurus, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. We start with the Queen of Swords. The Queen is always looking at the past. All of the queens are, right? And I feel like right now, this is advising us to rise out of the emotions that we might be feeling, whatever you're feeling right now, whatever the emotional turbulence is, pleasant or unpleasant, probably a rising and a falling of both, I think Spirit's instructing us to take a step back from that situation or from those feelings and sort of look at how we got here. Look at the past decisions that we've made. If we can begin to understand what it was that brought us here, or where we came from, or how we what path we traversed to get into this situation, maybe we can see what the path moving forward is. Maybe we can see, maybe we can feel a little bit better about where we are right now if we can appreciate where we've been, right? The Queen is looking for objectivity. Queen of Swords is trying to just get away from the thick of things, right? Even if this is a very good thing in your life. I feel like there's a lot of emotions going on. It could be a lot of joy, a lot of excitement, a lot of love, a lot of maybe up and down. Maybe it's a roller coaster that you're on. If we can take a step back from it and take a look at everything that led us to this moment, right? Maybe we'll start to realize that, okay, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. I can continue on my course, or maybe we'll say, hey, I've got to make some adjustments. Okay? I think we have to take a step back this week. All right. Let's all take a step back and put some more cards around this card. There we've got the Death card. We've got the Fool. Very nice. Hierophant. Wow, that is your superpower card. That is your patron card. Okay, this is your true self, and I wonder if you've been in a situation that you feel is perhaps taking you further away from your true self, though I don't know if that's quite the case. Okay, here we have a Queen of Wands. Very good. Two queens, both looking at the past, right? Sort of understanding where we've been, to understand what we need to do in the present, and looking at our past interpretation of ourselves. That I feel what's going on with the Queen of Wands and the Hierophant is that you're getting a new perspective, a deeper perspective on who you are. You're getting a deeper perspective on your evolution. I don't think we're moving further away from our true selves. I think our idea of ourselves is expanding. Okay, a little bit of Fool energy in there too. Here we have the Eight of Pentacles. There's growth. All right, this is going to be a week, I think, of growth, of understanding where we've been, to understand what we need to move forward, to grow, and to continue to evolve in a very healthy way. Now, as we put the rest of the cards down, I'd also like to say that if there's anything I could pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know in the comments down below. Okay. All right, let's continue here. We've got the Princess of Cups. See, the Princess of Cups is an energy that is trying to figure out exactly what it feels. It's kind of looking at the feelings and thinking, what are these things? It's maybe manifesting as a couple of conflicting desires. I kind of want to go this way. I kind of want to go that way. I kind of want to stay put. And And so I feel that we're trying to understand what our next move is or what direction we should take. Not even that we're making adjustments. I don't even see any adjustments being made, but trying to understand why we feel the way we feel now and what we're supposed to do right now, why we're on this path, right? What does this mean in terms of our growth and our evolution? Okay, well, let's finish up the path of the serpent here. We've got a 4 of swords. We've got a Knight of Swords. Very nice. Very, very nice. And we have a 7 of Pentacles, which I think is showing the uncertainty that we feel about the future. Okay, but we got our 8 right here. So we know what we need to do. And this, to me, this feels like this is short term. This is what can we do, let's say this week, right? What things can we do this week to help us feel better about the path we're on? To give us the confirmation that we need, right? That we're on the right path in life. And this is all part of our growth. That this is not us moving further away from ourselves, that there's something Spirit is trying to show us, I think, through our past, but then also trying to figure out the present. And then when we have the Knight of Swords, this is about figuring out the plan for the future. But this is the card we don't want, right? In this position of the dove and serpent spread, this is the energy we don't want. Maybe it's not a time for us to think about the future because the future seems unclear. If we're not sure of where we've been or where we are, we're not going to know where we're going, okay? So maybe right now is not the time to start thinking of future plans or making changes or making many plans for the future. Maybe it's trying to keep us in the moment, okay? Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to put it right here. We're going to put Bubo, the mechanical owl, right there on top. We're not going to look at that card till the end, but it will tie everything together and give us our confirmation. If you have a prediction for that card, please put it in the comments down below. We can exercise our intuition together, okay? Let's take a look around the room, and we see that we have 1, 2, 3 major arcana energies. The Hierophant, through the through the death energy, becomes the Fool, right? The Hierophant may be transforming into the Fool. I wonder if this is a week of us realizing that we've had too static of a picture of ourselves. Because remember, this card is you. And you're sort of transforming into something that is more free, that is more fun, right? More sort of light. And, it could be that this is really Spirit's way of saying, Taurus, you've been taking yourself very serious lately. Maybe this is a week of trying to be a little bit more open and receptive. Maybe the Fool, because the Fool is, underneath everything here. It is kind of saying like your inner fool is just sort of begging to be let out here, It's really in need of some levity, especially with Hierophant and Death card, very serious cards. The future even seems kind of serious, and if we focus on the future now, if our Knight of Swords is looking at that 7 of Pentacles, well, boy, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, And so maybe this idea here is, look, we're making slow and steady progress. Let's just focus on what we're doing right now. Let's remember the past. Let's think about how far we have already come. And let's try to enjoy the moment. Okay? I think that the Hierophant sort of represents that static picture of things, because the Hierophant, let's say, is the textbook of things, right? And it's a textbook that has become in need of a revision. There needs to be a new edition put out. It's kind of like ourselves, right? We have this idea of who we are, and we think that's it. And that becomes a very rigid structure. We sort of institutionalize our own soul. And there's no growth, there's no new edition, there's no revisions. But the death card is all about slow and gradual change, slow and gradual transformation. We're slowly emerging as this butterfly that's going to then sort of transform into something else and then something else. And it's going to continue this ongoing process of evolution. But maybe our Queen of Wands is used to things moving a lot faster. Okay? Maybe we're not so sure how we feel right now because things, maybe things didn't go according to plan. And maybe we're sort of looking even further back, right? So we're getting a higher vantage point so we could see further back in the future rather than just right here. Looking further back in the future to see, like, was my original intention of this, like, faulty? Okay. And I don't think it was. I think that you're headed right toward this evolution, not only of yourself, but whatever your work is right now, whether it's career, whether it's school, whether it's personal growth, spiritual work, whether it's family, friends, romantic relationship, whatever it is, whatever your work is, whatever your central focus in life happens to be. I think that we've been a little bit restrained in our vision of how this is supposed to go, So we have this Hierophant who is kind of expecting things to be a certain way. Things should go by the book, right? This is the way I designed it. This is how it should play out. But I think the death card is saying we need to allow some room for this to grow and evolve. Okay? Maybe we're talking about a relationship that isn't exactly what you thought it was going to be. It could be a work situation. It could be a family thing. Didn't quite go as planned, right? And you're trying, I think, to exert some control over it. Yeah. And what we need to do, I think, is allow it to sort of grow and evolve in its own sort of natural and organic way. Okay. So I think this is a week of trying to discover and see, originally with the Queen of Swords, I said we got to get out of the feelings so that we can see our path from a higher, a bird's eye view, let's say, like this. But what I think we realize is that we don't really know how we feel. So I think we need this objective viewpoint so that we can look at ourselves and think, how do I feel about where I'm at in my life? Okay, this could be a week that is ripe for the retrospection. Yeah. Maybe we should look at, the last few years, let's say, or maybe look back to the beginning of this path that you're on. If it's a relatively new, career or relationship, maybe it's only a few years old. Maybe this is going further back than that. So that you can appreciate how you have been evolving in this. It may seem slow to you, but it's in the right direction. And perhaps it could be up here with the 7 and with the Queen of Wands that if we tried to go too fast, it's going to end up not growing the right way. The 8 of Pentacles is the right amount of growth. It's being nurtured in the right way. Everything is evolving and becoming what it's meant to be. Everything is bearing fruit in its own time, in due season. So this could be related to a lot of things, that maybe you thought you were going to make progress somewhere a lot faster, but it seems like it's going slower. And now we're starting to wonder, am I in the wrong place? How do I even feel about this? Do I still want this thing? I thought it was going to be quick. Here I am, it's just kind of being dragged out. Yeah. But we have to look at these things, okay? And I think when you do the work of the queens and you look at the past, I think you'll see that every stage that you've been through was a very necessary stage in your growth and in your evolution. Okay? So the work this week is the work of the Death card, the work of realizing the slow and steady changes that have been taking place in your life, not the quick, fast-paced stuff, but how it's sort of been evolving over time. Okay? And it doesn't seem like there's a lot of chaos in your life right now. It doesn't seem that there is a lot of that fast-paced stuff. Maybe it seems like things are just kind of going a little slower, even stagnating. That's where we need to take a step back and be able to see the long-term progress. It's kind of like in the day-to-day, we don't really notice the change. I'm doing the same work over and over and over again. I'm not noticing a difference until we really take that step back and we look. Let's look a month ago, 6 months ago, a year ago, compared to now. Wow, huge difference, big changes. A lot of progress has been made. Okay, and it's really the point that we have to stop what we're doing and look and sort of compare where we are now to where we were, so that we can appreciate how much progress we've made. Okay, I think that's the work for the week, right? I think this is also about shedding some unnecessary expectations that we have of ourselves. Like maybe we thought that we would get better a lot faster. Maybe we thought that we would do more in a shorter period of time. We've got to let go of some of those expectations, right? And that's why the Hierophant has to sort of grow and evolve. We have to allow the old version of ourself to sort of be archived, and for the new, Taurus 2.0 to sort of to emerge, right? And I think what that really does is brings up a little bit of this Fool energy. I think you're somebody that really does want to have more, just more enjoyment of the present moment. And that's all the Fool really has, is the present moment. The Fool doesn't think about the past. Fool doesn't think about the future. Doesn't think at all, really. Just wants to experience life. Just wants to play and have fun, is very curious, is going to, stumble into a lot of different things. Some positive, some not so positive, But that's the Fool energy. And so sometimes this card can be a little bit too much of the wrong energy in a way, right? Because if you're committed to this growth and this evolution and you have these goals in mind, the Fool kind of says, I'd rather just give up and have fun. Why are you keeping yourself to such a strict life? Why are you so committed to anything? Fool has no commitments, no responsibilities, has no consideration for anyone, not even themselves, has no sense of self. So the Fool can be that extreme abandon that we might not want, okay? But I feel that this is something creeping up within you. It's underneath the surface. It's something I think that's starting to motivate you a little bit, where it's just like, wait a minute, I got to take a step back. I got to look around the room, right? Because I'm starting to feel that I just don't care about this anymore. Yeah. So I think this is a week not only of taking a look at the past and seeing the progress that you've made, right? To reinforce your efforts, to really, pat yourself on the back, to confirm that, hey, you've made a lot of progress. May not have been as fast as you thought, but you've come a long way. But also, I think to take that step back and figure out how we feel. Because if we're not sure how we feel about anything anymore, and we start to get this feeling of, I'd be happier if I just threw this all away. Because the Fool, as soon as it's done with something, just throws it away. Very inconsiderate the Fool can be, right? And we have to understand, we have to take a look at it and see, where's this coming from? Is this just frustration that, I wanted more faster and it's taking its time, Or is this really, hey, there's something new going on? Maybe this is the card that says you got your eye on other things. You're sort of falling in love with other aspects of life that you want to pursue. Okay? And maybe this is what is kind of drawing the Fool out. Are these other things that maybe you feel you should be enjoying? Yeah? Maybe this is a card that says we need to discover what it is we do truly enjoy. We have to understand what we feel not only about this situation, but what we want to feel. Okay? So that we can continue to grow and evolve not only this particular project or life or work or effort, whatever that you're in. Maybe this is a school thing. Maybe you're retired and you work at the library. I don't know. Not only the very specific, but the very general too. Right? Your sense of self and, are you enjoying your path? Yes, the path is arduous. The path is a lot of shedding skin, sort of, one skin at a time, in this effort to grow in a healthy and sort of proportionate way, right? But with the Eight of Pentacles, it's important for us to realize, are we getting all the nutrients we need? It's important for us to ask that question. What is going to help me to continue to grow in the direction I want to grow? Well, that's where this water energy comes into it. Because see, we don't have any other water. We got the water here, and this is kind of saying, I don't know what food I want. I don't know what I like to eat. I don't know what the plant needs to grow. I have no idea. The fool doesn't care, right? This is what we expected it to be, right? But it doesn't seem like it's quite doing it. So we've got that death card that says, okay, well maybe what we've been feeding ourselves on hasn't been it. Maybe it hasn't been enough. Maybe it is enough, but I need something else too, some sort of a supplement, And I'm not talking about your diet, right? I'm not a nutritionist. I mean, come on, look at me. I'm not one to give advice, but I feel that this is in terms of our spiritual growth, the growth of our lives, right? Are you missing something that you need? Is there something that would be nourishing to you that you're not feeling? I mean, this is a week of really taking a look at where we are, where we've been, right? To understand where we are. Because I don't think you know how you feel about the present moment. Okay? But the Eight of Pentacles in the future position is talking about your healthy growth. Right? That we know that by doing things slowly, by taking our time, by being thoughtful, by being introspective and retrospective, that we're going to grow and evolve in a way that is healthy. Maybe we're talking about your business. Maybe this is a business that you thought was going to grow quick. Overnight success, suddenly I'm a millionaire, right? And then it seems like it's taking longer. And there's part of you that just gets impatient, doesn't want to wait. This is a card of patience. The Fool and kind of the Queen of Wands too, they're not so patient. Okay? They're not so patient. And it's almost, when we come over here and we talk about the path of the serpent now, when we have the Princess of Cups, it's kind of like, what kind of things do you need in your life right now? What could you satisfy in yourself so that you don't abandon this and throw this whole thing away? Because if this is taking too long, it's kind of like, I'm going to throw it away. I'm going to go do something fun. That's going to be right now rewards, But I don't think you truly want to do that. So what is it that we do need in our lives that's going to help to sort of strengthen our resolve to continue this larger path? Sometimes the Princess of Cups just wants that immediate gratification. I don't know what brings me pleasure. I'm going to find out as I go. I just want joy, instant joy. I want to push a button and out comes the bowl of ice cream, And so maybe we have to find I think we have to see that. We have to understand that there is part of us that wants that. And you need some sort of reward for your efforts here. We can't just wait for the slow evolution of something. We got to find ways to enjoy ourselves, enjoy the ride right now. Because that's going to keep us committed to the path. Okay? We have these, let's say, long-term goals. We need some short-term stuff too. So maybe the Princess of Cups is Spirit's way of encouraging you to explore some ways that you can feel good this week. Treat yourself to something. Give yourself a reward. You've earned that second scoop of ice cream, right? That you have, and it's not really about distraction. Because sometimes that's the Princess of Cups is all about, distracting us from something else. Okay. And that's why we need the objective viewpoint of the queens here, so we can see, how do we really feel about what we're doing? Do we have this Princess of Cups sort of attitude right now of wanting to just indulge in other things to feel good because this is just not our path anymore? Whatever this horizontal path is that we're talking about, could be many different things for you. But are we just not feeling it? Is this really truly not what we want anymore? And so the Princess of Cups and the Fool are getting very restless, right? And the Tarot's not going to answer that question for you. The Tarot's going to teach you how to answer that question. And we have to take that bird's eye view. And that's what the Queen of Wands is trying to do, to see if we still vibe with the original intention. She's the Queen of Wands, looking back, let's say, at the Ace of Wands. Right? The Ace of Wands, the very beginning of this path. Your original will, your original intention, is this still something true for you? Or have we sort of evolved out of this and it's like, I don't know, I really don't want this anymore. Not just in the short-term, immediate gratification kind of way, but in the deeper sense of destiny and will. This is not my path anymore. Because the Death card could be us really letting go of something. Right? Letting go of something that it may be a little bittersweet because it's something that you very much cared about for a long time, and now it's just kind of saying, I don't need that anymore. Maybe you've evolved past that, and that's no longer your aspiration. We have to ask those questions. I think this is a week where we have to do that and see if there's anything that we need to eliminate for our ultimate growth, our greatest growth. And if there are any additional nutrients that we need to foster our best, healthiest growth, so that we can realize our potential. So it's about kind of getting rid of the weeds, and then also giving the plant enough sunlight and water and good soil. Take away the elements that are harming it and put in the good elements that are keeping it healthy. Yeah. And that's kind of where the Princess of Cups comes in. Are we desiring things that are in line with our true will, right? Because I feel like right now you're someone who's you want a lot of different things. I think you're sort of everything you see. You're just kind of like, you just feel a desire in you, and the Princess of Cups feels that desire but doesn't know what it means, doesn't know why. It just like wants everything, There is that need for that instant gratification of things. It's like I see the menu at the restaurant. And it's like, I want everything on the menu, And so it could be a situation where you're feeling that because the other part of your life, whatever the main path is here, is not satisfying to you. Okay? The Four of Swords that we see here in the position of the environment, I feel like you're a very good listener. I feel that you have a very calm and reassuring way that you deal with the other people in your life. I feel that sometimes you feel as if it's better to just kind of go with the flow and continue enduring something, even if there is that part of you that wants to kind of speak up and say, wait a minute, I'm out, Not that you are a pushover or anything like that, but I think you know how to pick your battles, And I think very much to your credit, you don't want to make any impulsive decisions. See, we don't have any real fire energy here, too. We have some fire up here, but not a lot. We have a little bit of water over here, not a lot, right? It's mostly major arcana and air energy. And the air energy related to the earth energy of the plan and what it's leading to or not leading to. These are two very different futures here. And I think maybe this is This is the future we want, obviously. We want the healthy growth. We want the steady. We want this tree to bear fruit. We want our lives to be successful, to have many branches, right? To have many, many fruits, many branches, strong roots, strong trunk. We have to have a good foundation, all right? I think there's part of you that might be worried we're going over to this Seven of Pentacles, okay? So the Four of Swords is kind of saying, I'm not ready to make any big changes yet until I really understand what's going on, okay? And this makes you a very thoughtful person, that you're not just going to get a new desire for something else and then you're going to throw everything else away and go pursue this other desire. That'd be a pretty irresponsible and immature Princess of Cups, right? So it's okay that we have those feelings, but before you act on them, you give it due consideration, all right? And I think this is the week where you figure out, do you still want this or do you need to go in a different direction? Is this the path that you still feel is leading you to your ultimate growth and health and happiness? Or is this kind of a dead end? Okay, but you're trying to listen to your Hierophant, your sort of inner teacher, your true self. You're trying to listen to the Fool a little bit. You're trying to listen to the Princess of Cups a little bit. You got to take everybody's opinion. This makes you a good listener. You're listening to the Hierophant, true self. Listening to the Fool, that part of you that wants something now, wants new, wants novelty. I don't care if it's good or bad. I just want to experience life, you know. And then also listening to the Princess of Cups, which is saying, I want gratification now. I have a hunger right now. I want food right now. Okay. And I think as we take in all of this information and we start to really get a larger picture, we start to understand where we've been, what led us to this point, and maybe there's going to be the realization that, yeah, of course, this is right where I'm supposed to be in this. Everything is going according to plan, and yes, maybe I need some other things in my life to enjoy, but having these doesn't mean you have to get off of this track. You see? We come to that realization, perhaps, that this is the larger picture of life. We need some short-term, smaller pictures, you know? It's like one of those big mosaics, right? It's like that big portrait of a famous person, but if you zoom in, it's just like little tiny photographs of random people that make up that big portrait. Those things are cool. I love those. But that's kind of what it's like. It's there's this bigger picture involved, but it's made up of these little moments. Okay? And yeah, sometimes we have to find ways to enjoy our life while we're doing these really more long-term things when we're on this bigger picture thing. So maybe this week is a way, is a moment for you to figure out what you want in life, long-term and short-term, right? And there's no right or wrong answers. There's no incompatibility. You can want certain things in the short term, but still want the same long-term goal, right? Find some things this week that you enjoy. Do something that feels good, okay? Do something that feels good. Listen to these other component parts of yourself before you make a decision to change course. Now, the Knight of Swords is, of course, looking at the Ten of Swords. Just at the Queens look at the Ace, right? The Knights look at the 10, future. So looking at that 10 of Swords is kind of you making that decision. Like, how would you feel if you completely ended this thing that you're doing? Whether this is a relationship, whether this is your spiritual work, whatever path this could be your job, your career, your artistic path, whatever it is, this horizontal path. Whatever your central focus of life is. The Knight of Swords is looking at the future and thinking, what if I just scrapped it? What if I tore that plan up? What if I have this manuscript and I just threw it on the fire and started over? That's what the Fool wants to do. The Fool says, yeah, let's start over. I love beginning new things. And the Princess of Cups is saying, yeah, as long as it feels good, you know. But let's really deeply think about that. If you didn't have this in your life anymore, how would you feel? If you didn't have this in your life anymore, what would you do instead? And then I think we'll understand whether we should put our efforts into something else or continue the path we're on. Okay, this is the moment where Spirit really is asking you, do you still want this? You know? And so we're understanding that, do we stay the course or do we change course? Changing course leaves a little bit of uncertainty. Here's the Seven of Pentacles. It's kind of saying, if you change course, you're going to be starting something over, and you're going to have to put a lot of effort into this to build it up to where you are now. I think everything in your life has led up to this moment where you sort of have to choose two paths. Do you go here where it's uncertain? Do you go here which is not a guarantee? It's not a known outcome. Here's a known outcome. Here's the path that you've already been on. Here's the new path. Okay. Each one has its sort of benefits. Yeah. Let's look at our mystery card. Let's see if we're going to, I think we're going to get an ace or a 10 of something, don't you? Ace or a 10. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments down below. Let's see what we have. Well, it's a Knight of Wands. This is another card looking at the future. Let's see. Now we've got looking at the Ten of Wands, right? So the Queen is looking at the Ace of Wands. The Knight is looking at the Ten of Wands, just as we have a Queen and a Knight of Swords, right? So we're looking at the original intention, the beginning of this path, right? And then the Knight of Wands is looking at the future, the Ten of Wands. And it's sort of asking you where you see yourself putting in, because the Ten of Wands, maximum effort. All the weight's on your shoulders. You're carrying this huge burden. Right? Ten of Wands is not fun. The Ten of Wands is not joy, right? There may be a deeper underlying joy, knowing that we're kind of busting our butt to accomplish our will. But it's a Ten of Wands. It's heavy. It doesn't even remember why it's out here doing this very grueling, arduous labor. Okay. So what is going to sustain you on that path? What is it that, is this worth it, for one thing? Looking at the future, looking at that Ten of Wands, thinking, is this a path that I can suffer and endure this arduous, very challenging, very trying journey? Maximum effort, Ten of Wands. What is it going to take in my life? A little bit of water, right? That person who's doing that arduous journey of the Ten of Wands, they need to have some sips of water here and there. You're running a marathon. You got to grab a cup of water and drink it and whatever, eat some pasta or whatever it is, carbo load, right? You've got to be able to sustain this effort. And to do that, we need joy. We need rewards. We need a reinforcement. We need some sort of positive reinforcement that says, yes, I'm doing it. This is right. Back to work. It's grueling. It's torturous, but there's an underlying joy to it. Okay? These are some questions you have to ask yourself if this is something that still has that for you. If this is something that you can still see, yeah, I can put in maximum effort as long as I get some kind of sustenance along the way. I can go all the way. I can finish this race, you know. We're going to finish this reading. We're going to do an extended reading if you want to stick around. There's a link up top. There's a link down below. New readings for Taurus are on Mondays and Fridays. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. It doesn't cost anything. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.